So we have divided this chapter into six modules. All six modules are designed in a way so that by the end of the chapter, we are in position to understand that how step by step we can understand, implement, and sustain the process of becoming an entrepreneur. Our first module is thinking and opportunities. So basically, what is entrepreneurship? First of all, we need to understand that entrepreneurship is something wherein you bring a fresh idea or innovation and implement it so that people can be benefited out of it, society can be benefited out of it, and obviously financials are always a part of it. There is a difference between businessman and an entrepreneur, which is very important for everyone to understand. It's a very basic difference. The difference is a businessman always does a business which has a proven track record, which is already in market implementing it. Just come and start a business. Like if you open a uh, clothing shop, if you are going to open a salon, or if you are going to open a furniture shop. So this is a business. But if you bring innovation to it, that earlier there was just wooden furniture, but now I'm creating a furniture which is made out of bamboos or recycled plastic, then I'm an entrepreneur because I'm bringing innovation to it. Or any fresh idea, any existing problem people are facing, society is facing, and if we can bring solution to it, then we are entrepreneurs. So this is a very basic difference. And throughout the modules, we'll try to keep the language and the references very basic so that it's easy to understand and later on it's easy to implement as right. We will explore entrepreneurial mindset, opportunity identification, and key strategies that how we can transform ideas into a successful business venture. Right. We will cover some problem solving, innovation, and market analysis as well. How we can do that, right? And we will suggest few assignments for practical understanding as well. So let's begin the module. What is entrepreneurial thinking? See, there are so many things comes into your mind when you decide that you want to be an entrepreneur. Right? Being an independent person who wants to do something, achieve something, but at the same time, he or she has a lot of distractions. That how, when we try to do everything. When we are young, we'll try to do everything. So, first thing first, for any entrepreneur or any businessman, that how to do and what to do and when to do. You just have to be clear in your mind. For an entrepreneur, it is very important to understand that what he or she is going to do. The first attribute of any successful entrepreneur is that how they find out problem. Confused? हमने सुना है ना कि you always have to be solution driven. आपके पास solution होना चाहिए, problem तो सबके पास है. But when you are into the entrepreneurial uh, journey, you have to find out the problem because जब तक आप problem find out नहीं करेंगे, you will not be able to provide the solution. Entrepreneurs focus on identifying the unmet needs or pain points or real world problems. You know, because हमारे आसपास ऐसी बहुत सारी चीजें हैं. There are so many things. There are so many problems. that everybody needs solution to it. And by the time changes, if you have noticed that in urban India, the paying capacity is increasing and people are ready to pay for their convenience. It means that market is open, but how effectively we can use that. So we need to identify the problems. Right? For a reference, let's take example of Zomato or Swiggy. What they did, they identified a problem that people have less time, they are working, and especially in metro cities, there is a lot of travel time. And it's a kind of headache that every time they have to get into their car and go to a place to get the food back for their family. They want, if they don't want to cook or they want to have some good time with their friends, even then they have to go out and get their food back. So they thought that let's solve this problem. And then, they decided to start a business venture. They converted their idea into execution and then to a successful business. Said that, okay, we'll deliver the food to your doorstep. And that business has also evolved over a period of time. Initially, it was 20 to 30 minutes and 40 minutes, 1 hour sometimes, and then they reduced time and they brought in quality checks, they brought in ratings, and so many things. So that's how they identified a problem and try to solve. So every entrepreneur should have a mindset of problem first mindset. Okay. Another thing is risk management. Entrepreneurship involves calculated risk. It is very, very important to take risk. Very important. But how we are taking it? It is said that do not put all the eggs in one basket. Uh, ये कहावत है, ये वहां से आई है कि when for an example that you are going to picnic with your family, there are 4 5 people, और आप डिसाइड करते हैं कि आज हम बढ़िया किसी अ, पहाड़ों में किसी नदी के किनारे बैठ के विल हैव पिकनिक एंड विल कुक देयर। होता है ना वो गैस स्टोव लगा के हम अपना कुछ कुक करेंगे। तो आप सामान लेके जाते हो और आपके पास 20 22 यू हैव अ कपल ऑफ डजन एग्स, 20 24 अंडे हैं आपके पास। तो अक्लमंद लोग क्या करते हैं कि दे विल नॉट कीप ऑल 24 30 20 एग्स इन वन बास्केट। वो 6 7 एक जगह रखेंगे, 6 7 एक जगह रखेंगे, सो दैट कि अगर रोड में कुछ डिस्टरबेंस होती है या सामान इधर उधर होता है तो एटलीस्ट सारे अंडे नहीं टूटेंगे। This is what we call calculated risk. I know that it's a very funny example, but it's accurate example. So, and we do it. हम भी ये करते हैं अपने रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी में, that will we will try to invest in various places. हम कुछ पैसा अपने सेविंग अकाउंट में रखते हैं, कुछ रखते हैं अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, कुछ से पॉलिसीज लेते हैं, कुछ हमने कोई घर फ्लैट लेके उसकी इंस्टॉलमेंट से, तो विल ट्राई टू डाइवर्सिफाई द फंड्स. So this is the risk management, right? It is very, very important for an entrepreneur to understand that, you know, how to manage the risk. It's about balancing innovation with feasibility and resource constraints. Sometimes that you have an amazing, innovative idea, but if you go for it, then you have to be sure that it would work 100%, because if it wouldn't, then there would be a trouble for you. There are so many innovative ideas have failed in the recent times, and the classical example is Google Glass. Google is one of the biggest firm because they tried to solve a problem which was never existed, and they took a lot of risk to solve that problem. We will discuss about it in the later part of this module as well, but for just for reference, I have took just one example. Then adaptability. Successful entrepreneurs pivot based on feedback and market changes, embracing flexibility over rigid plans. It is very difficult For any entrepreneur, their product, their service, their organization is their baby. You know, हम बहुत पैशनेट तरीके से काम करते हैं कई बार अपने किसी प्रोडक्ट को लेकर वी आर वेरी पैशनेट दैट ये तो काम करेगा ही करेगा मेरा आइडिया तो दुनिया में छा जाएगा यार ब्रिलियंट आइडिया सबसे अच्छा है it happens with all of us when we discuss anything we thought that we are bang on and we start working on that but during the process sometimes it happens that we neglect the feedback or market changes. The classical example of this is Nokia mobile phones, that somehow they fail to adapt themselves as per the changing market, right? They fail to work upon the people feedback, what they were getting when they, you know, first very, uh, they decided to move into the smartphone market very late as compared to their competitors. People were asking it because everybody was liking Nokia mobile phones. They were very, very reliable. कहते हैं ना वो नोकिया का फोन मारो तो टाइल टूट जाएगी फोन नहीं टूटेगा yeah, that's on a lighter note but yeah people were happy by using their phones but somehow Nokia was not able to adapt the market change there are some times हमारी पर्सनल लाइफ में भी होता है ना कि कई बार कई जगह नई बात बन रही है कुछ कुछ ऐसे रिश्ते हैं जो आपको लग रहा है कि नहीं हो पा रहे हैं हम उनको खींचने की कोशिश करते हैं पर एंड ऑफ द डे उससे क्या होता है कि हम भी फ्रस्ट्रेट होते हैं सामने वाला भी फ्रस्ट्रेट होता है तो पिवट लेते हैं पिवट मतलब चेंज so we'll take a step back see we need to understand that taking pivot does not mean that you are giving up it means that you are taking a step back there is a very famous saying is that if your plan failed change the plan but not the goal so this is entrepreneurship ऐसा होगा कि आप प्लान करेंगे, कुछ चीज़ें प्लान में फिट नहीं बैठेंगी, कुछ चीज़ें नहीं होगी. It doesn't mean that it will change your goal. Your goal should remain same. And then the resourcefulness. Uh, when you are a young or new entrepreneur, what happens that sometimes there are many people who are not well equipped with resources or capital. You know, some people are blessed with that. They have some backings. They already have some friends and families to back them up with funds or capitals and resources. But there are many people who has to start from the scratch. तो ऐसे लोगों के लिए it is very important that how they can optimize the resources, right? Limited resources को हम creativity के साथ कैसे use कर सकते हैं, right? Because if we will not be able to do that, then there would be a little trouble for us. Then we can short of capital in long run because बिजनेस एक ऐसी चीज होती है कि जहां पे आपको कब कितने पैसे की जरूरत पड़ जाए you just don't know, right? So you always have some backup and to have that backup what is need to be done that you should use your resources carefully. Again, the four major entrepreneurial thinking points are problem first mindset, risk management, adaptability, and resourcefulness. Now, what are the major traits of entrepreneurial minds? हम traits के ऊपर फटाफट से बात करते हैं. Resilience. Persistence through failure is critical. See, when you get success, then you are motivated. आपको होता है कि यार अब तो बढ़िया चल रहा है. Everything is set. Let's move. Let's run. But sometimes it happens that you fail as well in between. होता है ना? Then we'll skate or we are disheartened and we said कि नहीं यार छोड़ देते हैं. छोड़ना नहीं है वहाँ पे, पकड़ के रखना. That's important. Resilience. You know, there are examples like Airbnb. Oyo, he was young. He was reaching out. Oyo's founder. I'm talking about Oyo's founder Ritesh. That he was young. He was coming from a small city, was running to hotels and financiers and so many people, and everybody was saying, no, this model cannot work here. But he kept on trying that. The one classical example of Michelin, uh, मैं आपको एक छोटा सा यहाँ पे एग्जांपल देता हूँ, यू विल लव इट, दैट मिशेलिन जो है, आपने सुना होगा कि देर आर वर्ल्ड में जो देर आर सो मेनी रेस्टोरेंट्स जिनको हम कहते हैं कि ये मिशेलिन स्टार रेस्टोरेंट्स है ना? होता है ना कि वो बिल्कुल जैसे हम 5 स्टार 4 स्टार कहते हैं, वैसे ही ग्लोबली मिशेलिन स्टार जिस रेस्टोरेंट के पास है या जिस शेफ के पास है वो अमेजिंग है। और मिशेलिन क्या है? मिशेलिन तो एक टायर कंपनी है। सो ये दोनों चीजें कैसे हुई? सो देयर इज अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरी। जब मिशेलिन टायर कंपनी शुरू हुई थी, उस वक्त बहुत ज्यादा गाड़ियां नहीं थी, एंड जब गाड़ियां नहीं थी, कम गाड़ियां चलेंगी तो टायर कैसे बिकेंगे? तो मिशेलिन के पास एक आइडिया है। मिशेलिन ने एक ट्रैवल गाइड बनाई और उन्होंने वो ट्रैवल गाइड लोगों को डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करनी शुरू करी। उसमें उन्होंने अपने एरिया के आसपास और उसके थोड़े 1000, 1500, 2000, 3000 किलोमीटर दूर के कुछ अच्छे स्पॉट्स बताए कि आप मैप्स बनाए कि आप इस मैप इस रास्ते से जाइए, यू कैन रीच टू दिस डेस्टिनेशन, आप इस वाले पेट्रोल पंप पे रुक सकते हैं, यहाँ पे गैस स्टेशन है, आप इस रेस्टोरेंट में खाना खा सकते हैं। सो उस चीज ने लोगों को एक्साइट किया, उस चीज ने लोगों को थोड़ा-सा प्रमोट किया उनके सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में कि चलो यार ट्रैवल पे चलते हैं, रोड ट्रिप पे, अब तो हमारे पास मिशेलिन गाइड है। लोगों ने उस पे ट्रस्ट दिखाया और वो उस गाइड्स को लेकर दे पीपल आर स्टार्टिंग एन्जॉयिंग देयर रोड ट्रिप्स। देन लोगों को एक फीडबैक भी आया कि आप हमने ऐसे होता है ना कि आप किसी जगह रुके, आपको नहीं अच्छा लगा रुक के, आपको खाना नहीं अच्छा लगा है, आपको सर्विस नहीं अच्छी लगी। तो जब इस तरीके के फीडबैक आए तो मिशेलिन थॉट कि लेट्स डू वन थिंग, वी विल रेट द रेस्टोरेंट्स एंड द कि आप जहाँ रुकेंगे अच्छे रेस्टोरेंट में उसको स्टार देंगे। इस तरीके से जर्नी चली मिशेलिन की, एंड दैट्स हाउ द मिशेलिन स्टार कॉन्सेप्ट इवॉल्व्ड। इट इज कॉल्ड परसिस्टेंस। वो फेलियर से डरे नहीं कि जब उनके टायर नहीं बिक रहे थे। अब इसका बेनिफिट क्या हुआ? जब लोग बहुत ज्यादा ड्राइव पे गए, रोड ट्रिप्स हुई तो टायर भी खराब हुए लोगों के, जब टायर खराब हुए तो नए टायर ऑब्वियसली मिशेलिन के लेंगे क्योंकि सब कुछ तो मिशेलिन का है उनके पास, एंड दैट्स हाउ मिशेलिन grown up, evolved like one of the biggest tire company, but also they have ensured people experience. और वहां से मिशेलिन स्टार रेस्टोरेंट्स वाला कॉन्सेप्ट शुरू हुआ। So it is an amazing example that how an entrepreneur can think out of the box and show the resilience towards the failure and get success. There are many examples like that. I've just shared one with you, right? Then we'll talk about curiosity. One of the amazing trait of any entrepreneur is the curiosity and constant questioning of norms and trends. Elon Musk, I have mentioned Elon Musk. Why? Because he always says, why not? Right? I will not share the complete journey, but I would recommend everybody should go and read the history of SpaceX, how SpaceX formed, and how Elon Musk challenged the one of the biggest space research company, NASA, and made his own space into this big giant business across the globe. So I would recommend आप जाइए सब लोग जब आपके पास समय हो. There are a lot of documentaries, there are a lot of videos on that how SpaceX formed and how Elon Musk, out of curiosity, he said कि why not? मैं ये क्यों नहीं कर सकता? Why not? I can do it. क्यूरियोसिटी, यू शुड ऑलवेज हैव क्यूरियोसिटी इन योर माइंड। नई नई चीजों को सीखने की क्यूरियोसिटी, कुछ हो रहा है तो अच्छा, इसमें ये क्यों हो रहा है, कैसे हो रहा है, आस्क क्वेश्चंस। व्हेन यू आस्क क्वेश्चंस यू गेट आंसर्स, अदरवाइज यू विल assume. Assumption is very dangerous. Not knowing is work as a blessing to the person who just assume. There is a difference, you need to understand. If you are blank, even then it's okay, you'll ask, it's better. But if you just assume and it's very dangerous. So always have that curiosity in your mind. Then visionary leadership. That's again a wonderful trait. Entrepreneurs inspire teams with clear, compelling future vision. There is one reference which I want to share. Steve Jobs. You know, there is a very what Steve Jobs used to do is his speeches. I mean, it's brilliant. आप कुछ आर्काइव में आप जाएंगे यूट्यूब में और यहाँ पे किसी भी प्लेटफॉर्म पे अगर आपको मिलता है आप Steve Jobs, you should hear what Steve Jobs said during the launch of their product. There is one speech I still remember that he said, why denims, jeans provide these small pockets, you know, and everybody is curious what he's trying to say. And then suddenly he, bring out the smallest that iPod from that pocket and he said, because our iPod fits into it. So this is something that people got excited, you know. So that is a visionary leadership that how you are going to compel market and people to buy your product. This is the vision. That's how you can change the market. Then action bias, moving quickly from idea to prototype. Sometimes what happens that we have an idea and we'll very quickly try to uh, do the prototyping or testing. हम तुरंत पैसा लगा के उस प्रोडक्ट को बना के उसको टेस्ट करने की कोशिश करते हैं. And in the process, because we are very excited, very passionate, we are young, we have an amazing idea. हमको लगता है कि हम we will just going to change the world. उसमें हम ना analysis करना भूल जाते हैं और उस प्रोसेस को कहते हैं analysis paralysis. कि जब आपका एनालिसिस सिस्टम हिल जाता है और आप फटाफट से सोचते हैं कि हम प्रोटोटाइप कर लेते हैं, जल्दी से इसकी टेस्टिंग कर लेते हैं और वैलिडेट कर लेते हैं. इसका एक क्लासिकल एग्जांपल देयर वाज अ मोबाइल फोन launched in India many years back. 251 rupees you will get a mobile phone. अगर आपको नहीं याद है तो आप इसके बारे में जरूर पढ़िएगा. They move very quickly, you know. It was an amazing idea, no doubt about that. It was innovative idea, and that's why many organizations backed up them as well. But later on, they were not succeeded, and that they didn't get the success they expected. Why? Because it is that moving quickly from idea to prototype. Yeah, a lot of analysis should be involved in that process. So again, the four major traits of any entrepreneurial mind: resilience, curiosity, visionary leadership, and action bias. All right.